Greetings, family. This is Dr. Kia. I hope you're having a wonderful evening. Today is Tuesday, December the 20th. It's my second son, David's birthday. He is 34 today. So happy birthday, David Lattimore. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I just saw you about 15 minutes ago, so I know it's going well. So again, it's Tuesday, December the 20th, 2022, and the time is 4:15 p.m. Exactly. Family, I know, I trust, I hope you're having a wonderful week. I'm here today to talk about a burning topic. This is a topic that has been burning in my soul for a while. And particularly for this week, I've been thinking about how I'm going to communicate this message, whether or not I should, because this is something that I'm very passionate about. And what it is good evening. Thank you. What it is taking back your power or control from the demons that have enslaved the planet through their liberal agenda. Okay, so this is very, very important to me. I'm extremely passionate about this topic because I am a mother, I've been a wife, I've been a pastor, I've been an assistant pastor, I've been a youth pastor, I've been a minister since I was 14, I've been an ordained evangelist, I've gone through schools, I've been a director of programs, I've worked at medical schools, I've been a quasi dean, I have been a community leader, I've been leaders in so many segments of societies to the extent that I was able to not only lead certain organizations, but write the mission statement for organizations and churches, write vision statements for organizations and churches, write the values upon which everyone should lead their lives. I've supported pastors and leaders who have casted a vision, and I've helped to get the people in the community and organization to buy in that vision so that we can accomplish a goal. So this is so important to me, family. Now, people know me as the loving mother. They know me as the sister. They know me as the wife. They know me as a caretaker. They know me as many things and as a podcaster. They know me as a speaker, a preacher, an evangelist, a healer, a doctor, an oracle, et cetera, an educator, a teacher, a coach, and all type of things, as a friend, a lover even. They know me as many things. But what most people, except for those in my core, don't know about me is when it comes to family and family values, I am a very passionate, strict woman, very traditional, very conservative, very strict, very focused, very disciplined, very narrow minded, to the extent that you can say I've had blinders on me for most of my life since I came out of my mother's womb. So when you see me talking with fire and passion and conviction today, know that this is something that the Creator has put in my spirit since the time I was a child. Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. I love you all with all my soul, with all my heart, and with all my being. So, family, today we're going to talk about taking back the power from the demons who have controlled us through paradigms, programs, mediums, laws, institutions, statutes, and codes. Because as long as you know, realize, and understand and overstand that you have power, then you can do something about taking back what has been stolen from you. See, as a preacher, I was taught that you can take back the power from the enemy. You can infiltrate the community, the enemy's camp, and take back what he stole from you. So today, Dr. Kia Pruitt, Evangelist Kia Pruitt, Mama Kia Pruitt, Mother Kia Pruitt is going to commission you to take back what belongs to you. I'm going to commission you to go into the enemy's camp and take back what belongs to you. Hello, family. I love you all. Let's get right into it. You've been having these feelings too. It's like Jeremiah said, this this message is like fire shut up in my bones. You know, if something is shut up inside of you, it just wants to burst through. It just wants to come out. And the only thing that can squelch it other than water is for you to get out there and speak the message. So let's talk about how the liberals have taken back your mind, your vision. Have they taken from you your mind, your vision, your mission, and your values? First, family, I'm just going to get into this because we have so many things to do today. What do you say? Oh, from where Melania Trump was born. Hello, family. So let's get right into the message, and then we'll have like a fireside chat where everybody can tune in. Okay, you know, sometimes you have something where it's collaborative and then everybody talks and you do it together. And sometimes you have a message where the speaker just presents and then they take questions. So let's get into what a family is, because this is really about family and family values. Why? Because when you have an intact, strong family, an intact, strong family then creates intact, strong communities. An intact, strong community goes on to create intact, strong societies. An intact, strong society and societies bring about an intact, strong world. Okay. But what has happened is that the powers that were, the demonic forces that came to this planet to cause chaos, division, and mayhem, has destroyed the value system of the family. Okay. It's buffering. Okay, here we go. It was buffering on my end. I don't know if you all could see that, but what is the family? What is a family? A family is an intimate domestic group made up of people that is related to one another by bonds of blood, sexual mating, or legal ties. Today, we're going to talk about the family, because the family and the family unit has been destroyed. Okay, I didn't put that in the title because I didn't know how people would feel. This is Dr. Kia Pruitt's perspective. So, a family, again, is an intimate domestic group made up of people related to one another by bonds of blood, sexual mating, or legal ties. It froze. Okay. It defroze is going out. This is for those that want to take back your families. This is for those who have been tricked by the powers that were to buy into the liberal agenda. Because we all have, to some extent, or most of us, I don't want to say we all have, or many of us. And so we see the fabric of the family just being ripped apart. We see the biblical prophecies that father would be against wife and child against mother and sons against father. Why? Because the people in power have inserted their value system into our value system. So families, in terms of a nuclear family, consists of the father, the mother, and the child. Father, mother, children. Asar, Aset, Heru. Depends on what paradigm you're coming from. Father, mother, child. Father, Son, Holy Spirit, which the Holy Spirit in some paradigms happens to be the woman. Father, woman, child. Now, the scripture says Father, Son, Holy Spirit. However you see that, that's okay. Osiris, Isis, Horus. Same concept. Father, mother, child. Father, mother, children. That is what the nuclear family consists of. The extended family, yes, would be, thank you, Andrea, because we're talking about the extended family would be those that you add to the nuclear family, whether it's aunts, uncles, cousins, grandparents, all of those people, friends, the human race, where if you don't want to call it the human race, all the people on the planet. But right now, I'm talking about your particular family and your particular bloodline. We need to take back our family. Okay. First of all, thank you. First of all, you have to know what your vision is. You have to know what your mission is, and you have to have a value system. Now, so what I did as a leader was I taught people what a vision statement is, how to create a vision statement for organizations like churches, the medical school, different departments within the university. We literally wrote vision statements, mission statements, and what are the values of the organization. This message isn't for everybody. This is for the people who desire to get their family back in order or to continue to have order for your family. So, what I did was talk about values, missions, and visions. You have to know what your vision is for yourself and for your family. And when you have a vision, you need to then write it down and create a vision statement so that you first and everybody in your family can abide by the vision statement. Okay. After you do a vision statement, I'm talking about getting the family back in order. You need a mission statement, and we'll define those in a minute. Then, after you have a mission statement clearly defined and outlined on paper, then you need to know and write down all of the values for your family. This is imperative because if you do not allow your values, mission, and your vision to guide you and lead you, somebody else will, and they will institute and interject their values, missions, and vision for your family themselves. And it will not be in alignment with your values, missions, and goals, and neither will it be conducive for the growth of your family. Thank you so much. So, family, if this is for you, then please listen to what I'm saying. So, a lot of people don't have a vision statement. So they're just out here living life. They're just doing whatever. Okay. They don't have a mission statement for their lives or their family members. So they're just running milly-nilly doing everything. The reason why I'm passionate about this is because the liberals had, and not just the liberals, when I say liberals, I'm talking about liberals, I'm talking about Republicans, Democrats, people with a liberal agenda to divide the family. Because if you divide the human family, if you divide the nuclear family and the extended family, then what will happen is you do a divide and conquer so that everybody's separate and fighting each other, and it's easy to get them to do what you want to do. So what's the liberal agenda? The liberal agenda is, and I'm not saying this to offend anybody, I'm talking about the agenda, okay? I'm not really going to try to placate people's feelings, play patty cake with anybody, comfort or coddle anybody. I'm not that type of woman when it comes to family. Now, if you want to hear me talk about love on the planet and how we all need to get together, you know what I'm saying? Yes, we got to get focused and organized. Then that might be another topic. But today we're talking about coming back to values, bringing the family back. The liberal agenda has for the last few decades been to take the mother out of the home. Why do you take the mother out of the home? You take the mother out of the home because mama teaches the children. Mama teaches the children values. Mama teaches the children morals and principles. Mama makes sure that everything that's in the household is in alignment with the family's vision and mission. That's mama's goal. So what the liberal agenda was to get mama out of I had to come into another room just in case. Maybe it's buffering because it's my internet. I don't know, but let's talk about why the liberals got mama out of the house. Because as long as mama is out working, now I'm not saying women shouldn't work. I'm just talking about the liberal agenda. This teacher is now in control of how your children is taught. Your children are taught, and this is my pet peeve because I am a part of the conservatives or the Republican Party of Duval County. And now this is not to push my political ideologies. So I was at a meeting with the women the other day, and they told me that some of them sit on a school board, okay? And the law was, she said she tried to get them, persuade them to do otherwise. But what they did was they passed, I don't know what to say, a law, but they passed something that said that in the school system here in Duval County, beyond the third grade, they will use wooden phalluses. You know what a phallus is? It's the part, the organ of a man. They will use wooden phalluses in the classroom to teach them how to have intercourse through the back door, the part where you defecate. This is fourth grade and beyond. So when you leave the teaching and the instruction to the school system and to people outside of your family, they can do whatever they want. They can teach them whatever they want. So what they did was they removed the family, the mother from the house. Yes. So now children are left to their own devices. They can do what they want to do. They have the same ideology as Aleister Crowley, do as thou wilt. So the Hollywood agenda was to push this whole, Aleister Crowley was called the most evil man in history, okay, in the world. Aleister Crowley created the Church of Satanism. Excuse me. He's the one that sits like this. And you guys can look him up. He had this value system, do as thou wilt. When I was growing up, there was this song called It's Your Thing, do what you want to do. I can't tell you who to sock it to. So now everybody has this thing about doing whatever you want to do. And so when the mother's not in the home, the children are just kind of left out there. They could be taught by the teacher. They're taught by the television. They're taught by Hollywood entertainers who don't have their best interests at heart. They're taught by cartoons that have phalluses and yonis in them. They're taught by the music, which is evil and satanic and talks about drugs all day. The music talks about and they use code words, like they'll say white girl, which is really talking about the white drugs. They're really smart. They talk about syrup, which is about, the things that they put in their alcohol. They talk about sexing. They talk about taking in violent weapons and harming each other. And so when you have the mother outside the home, the children are being led and taught by the liberal media, the liberal schools, the liberal books. So family, we have to take control back from those people who have taught our children. What else is the liberal agenda? To tell the man that he doesn't have to provide and protect, however they do it. To get the man out of the house by giving women some entitlement programs. Now, we all know that some women need entitlement programs. Some women need food stamps or welfare. Some women need Section 8 housing. We're not even talking about you. So please, let's put that aside. We're putting our feelings aside right now. We're talking about the agenda to give the woman, entice the woman with these programs. Say the man has to be out of the house in order for her to receive those programs. And now you have a woman who doesn't have the provision and protection of her husband, and she has to depend on the government, which is Zaddy. And Zaddy will determine who can be in your house, who can't be in your house. The Zaddy can determine how much money you can make if you want these entitlement programs. Zaddy can determine whether or not you can work this job or that job. Zaddy can determine whether or not you can go to college and further your education or not. Zaddy becomes your lover, your man, and your husband. And what we have found out by watching throughout the decades what's been going on is Zaddy does not have your best interest at heart. So they've taken the father out of the home. Now I'm not saying that the father shouldn't be held accountable, because if you left the home, I'm asking you why you left the home. If you received the entitlement issue programs, why? Some of us had to do it, and then some of us were tricked into doing it. Okay, that's okay, because I'm gonna tell you how we can get out of it. Some of us might have felt like we had to. If you were abused, if the husband left you, if he was cheating, going around, all this, we get it. We understand and overstand. We're just talking about what typically happened to destroy the family. Okay, what else has their agenda been? To keep you working and needing the kids to be in school for babysitting. That's what the cabal agenda has been. No, pull them out or you're going to be sorry. The school system is very dangerous at the moment. Thank you for saying that. What else is the liberal agenda? The liberal agenda has been to tell your daughters that they can mate with women, to tell your sons that they can mate with men. Now, if that's a part of your family values, that's up to you, and that's no problem. But if it is not in alignment with your value system, which is why we're going to talk about values today, and the mission statements and vision statements and values and value statements, because if that is not in alignment with your values, family, you need to take back control as the matriarch or the mother, and or as the patriarch or the father and the husband. Okay, what else has been the liberal agenda? The liberal agenda has been to tell your children that they can change their gender. Now you have them coming up with a definition for male and female that has nothing to do with biology. They're telling you and your children you can change your gender. You can decide if you want to be another gender. You can do whatever you want to do, and a parent can't say nothing about it. And a lot of our parents, a lot of us, we felt bullied. We felt if I say something, they're gonna call me some kind of phobic or scared. I ain't scared of you because you want to change your gender. Get out of here. I ain't scared of you because you want to mate with somebody who looks like you. That's your, if you're grown, that's your business. But I'm talking about taking back control of your family if the value system of the people in power is not in alignment with your value system. We've lost our backbones because of this system. Thank you, Empress Vicky. Thank you. Even I have been allowed myself to give in to a lot of things, like, well, I can't say nothing because if I say something, I'm not being, what's the word they call it? I'm not being understanding. I'm not being compassionate. I'm not just valuing everybody's opinion. It doesn't matter that it's going against my value system. It doesn't matter that it's not sustainable, some of these things that they're telling our people to do. When I say our people, I mean our family members to do. But we've lost our backbone. We've lost our desire to say no. In this family, we do A, B, C, and D because you have to be inclusive. It doesn't matter if it's destroying your family unit. It doesn't matter if it goes against your morals and values. It doesn't matter if it's, we're not hearing you, sister. What happened to the sound? What? No sound? Can you hear me now? It doesn't matter if it's causing mayhem in the family. It doesn't matter if even the people who are doing it, buying into the agenda, are not happy. They will tell children they don't have to listen to you. I have worked for institutions of higher education. They told us as directors, program directors, counselors, There we go. It keeps taking me out, kicking me out. Thank you, Sister Andrea Ross. Thank you so much for being understanding and overstanding for what I'm saying. It's like, if that's a part of your value system, it's okay. But what if it's not? Thank you so much for understanding, Sister, understanding. So they taught our children that they can do whatever they want. But you as a parent have to be politically correct. And what I was saying is, when I was working in institutions of higher education, they taught us, whether you're a teacher, an administrator, student affairs worker, janitor, you can hide certain things from the parent. The parent doesn't have to know if the child has had disciplinary action, if the child has been drinking and they weren't supposed to, if the child's been found drunk. You don't have to show the parents the grades, even though the parents were paying in many cases for the children to attend institutions of higher education. You did not have to show the parent any of that. You could keep it hidden because the children have privacy rights, even if the parents are paying for it. Now, certain communities don't play that. When I worked with certain communities, I don't know if you get in trouble by saying by certain, but try telling family members that came here from certain countries that you're going to control their children in the institution of higher education. That parent will come to your institution and raise Hades, raise hell. That parent will withdraw financial money and financial provisions for that child until that child comes into alignment. So what I told them teachers and the deans, all the way up to the president of the institution of higher education where my children went, where I work, is as long as my name is Kia Marie Pruitt, I will have a say on what goes on in my child. I don't care if they are attending this institution of higher education in which I work. I will be attending the meetings. If my child is mistreated, I will take it all the way up through every academic department, every dean, associate dean, all the way up to the president. And me being Dr. Kia Marie Pruitt, even before I became a doctor, did exactly that. When my children were in public schools, before I pulled them out and our family created a private school, I was volunteering there. I was at the meetings. I was the coordinator of many programs to get my children and the children in the schools to do community work. What else? I was parent of the year many times. I would show up at lunchtime. Nowadays, they try to keep you out of the schools. So what we did is we created a school. Yes, we'll have a breakdown today. Rod Hayes and I will have a breakdown today about 9 or 9:30. I don't know what time it will be, or I think it's on the Young Elders show. It'll be my first time. So thank you for mentioning that. I think it's 9 or 9:30. It might be 9:30. If you know, Brother CJ, can you let us know, please, what time and where it would be? So we created our own school and we determined what would be taught by our children. When I was at the institution of higher education working, one of my sons had an issue where the teacher gave him grades that were different from what he earned. And see, he was smart because I taught him, keep all your tests, keep all of your assignments in a folder, because teachers are human and sometimes they can mix up your grades from others and give you a grade that is not rightfully yours. And that's what happened. He was given C's, D's, and F's when he brought me his folder that says he was making A's and B's in the classroom. So I told him, go to the teacher first. He did. She would not acknowledge him. She lied on him and said he wasn't coming to class. Other people came and spoke on his behalf and said, yes, he is coming to class. She still didn't want to do anything. I went to her department chair. He told me, that I have to abide by the teacher. I went above his department chair and I went all the way up. And each time I went up, I sat my children with me. They said, I never had a parent to come in and talk on behalf of the child. I mean, we have privacy rights here. I said, talk to my child. And they will tell you that they have my permission to be here because I raised them to do that. And my children would always say, oh yeah, my son said, oh yeah, my mother she's supposed to be here because that's the way our family operates. That's a value that our family has. We work together. We obey our parents. we obey our mother and father. And if they say you don't have any privacy rights when it comes to where my money goes, that's the way it will be. And by going all through the chains of commands and saying this will happen, my son's grades were changed. Then I sent him to another institution that could value him as a person that was more in alignment with my goals. And one time the schools did have certain things that I didn't agree with. I went all the way to the president. I went up through the channels, and the people thought I was playing, and they discredited me. They were like, "Oh, you're just a little doctoral student. You don't know what you're talking about. Parents and students don't get involved with what we do here." So what it was they had no statistical data for retention. They had no retention rates and no graduation rates for African American males. Okay, thank you, CJ. We'll be talking at 9 o'clock on the Young Elder Show. I believe he has a YouTube channel. I'll be speaking with Brother Rod Hayes and about various topics if anybody is interested. Greetings, California. So what happened was we had no statistics. We had statistics on how the retention and graduation rates of every other ethnic group except for so-called African American males. So I said, I think we should have those statistics. Now, this is just an aside. I'm glad you can hear me. Different group. I went to the African American Student Programs Office. The woman laughed at me. The vice president of diversity and inclusion looked like me. She said, I need to stay in my place. She went to my my supervisor because I worked on the medical school campus. I had issues with the main campus not having statistical data on the graduation retention rates of African American males. I said, if you don't have data on where they're doing, you can't ensure that the males are doing well. I said, we need the Black men in my community to come to college, but also finish so that when they get out, they can be providers and leaders in the community and in their families. Went up, the associate vice provost for diversity and inclusion laughed at me. She went to my manager, my supervisor on the medical school campus, and she said, I don't know who this woman thinks she is, but you need to get her in check. She must be trying to take my job because she thinks that there should be some data on Black male, how Black men can succeed. So listen, I said, all right, then we'd be a great trio. Thank you. So my supervisor said, well, I don't have anything to do with Kia's on her own with why she wants to, make sure that there are statistics in place for Black males succeeding in college. And so then I went to the dean of undergrad students and he said, are you sure there's no data? This happened to be a gay male, a gay Caucasian male. He said, no data on our Black male students? I said, no, sir. He said, well, that's not right. We have data on everybody else. He said, you went to the institutional research division in we are Research One institution, a PWI who gets lots of funding from the government. Are you sure we have no data on how to keep and graduate Black males from our institution? I said, sir, I've looked at length. Everybody else laughed at me. Please help me. He said, I don't know what I can do, but whatever I can do, I'm going to do it. Then I went all the way up to the chain of command to the president. The president had an economics degree. He knows about business. He knows about structure. He knows about dollars, federal dollars. He knows that if you're getting federal dollars, you need to make sure that not only are you enrolling students and recruiting students, but you have to have a retention and graduation component. He was a Caucasian male, an economics degree. So economists know about these things. He said, Kia, I wasn't a doctorate then. I'm sorry that you went through this where nobody wanted to listen to you. Nobody wanted to institute this into our institutional research division. So what I want you to do is I want you to go to every single department, the Associate Vice Provost of Diversity and Inclusion, the Director of Undergraduate Programs, the Director of the Black Student Office, the Black Greek fraternities, all these organizations, these student organizations that you went to, every academic unit that you went to who wouldn't hear you. I want you to go to them. You have my statement with my seal and my signature. And I want you, to you sat down and you told me not only do we need statistics and programs, but you showed me how you instituted the same programs at Marshall University, which increased the retention and graduation rates of African American males from your undergrad institution. You did that as a student at Marshall University. And if you can do that there, you can do that here. I want you to institute every single program, every single thing that you did there on my institution, so that I can graduate have a successful retention and graduation rate of African American males from my institution. So I applaud that president. I went back to all of those people and told them what he said, and they implemented my programs. And all of that, hi, darling, all of that happened. And then we had it, which increased the retention and graduation rate. So what am I saying? You don't have to take what these people tell you. You have to use your power to take back what has been stolen from you. So you know that there were agendas to get the woman out the house, to get the man out the house, and to leave the children to their own devices. So now that that program has been instituted, we see households being divided. They also told nuclear families to move away from their extended family. So now grandma can't pass down her values as big mama, as they would say in our community. She cannot pass down her values and her instruction to the younger women or to the children. Granddaddy can't teach the men how to be men, how to provide. Now granddaddy's out of the home. Uncle's not in the community. All the extended family, the elders, they're gone because they told us to move away from the family, or they put jobs way far away into the cities. So we had to move away from the family. And now we're left to their devices. And our children are in mayhem because nobody's home. Remember the lock key, what they call it, the key, what they call it, where the children can have the key around their neck. And now as having the key around their neck, latchkey children. Now they have latchkey children who go to school by themselves, leave home early in the morning, and they come home to an empty house. And when they come home to an empty house, they have the television to instruct them on how to live their lives. They have the television and the music to tell them to go out and annihilate each other. They have the television to tell them to go out and sex everything walking. And so now you have a bunch of people spreading their seed everywhere and not taking care of those seeds or those children because they're not men yet. They haven't been brought through rites of passages to know how to become men because they've taken the elder out of the home and out of the community. Latchkey, thank you, sister. Thank you. You were the latchkey in 1979. So you have children spreading seeds and men spreading seed all out everywhere without providing and protecting. You have women who now have become, the mother of many, many children with no provision and protection, because all of the music with the 808 beats, they resonate with your base chakra, with your sacral chakra. Okay, so sex is important. Sex is a biological need. Sex is something we do for survival. But if you focus on the sacral chakra, then you don't leave room for evolving as a human being. You're not trying to grow. You're not trying to self-actualize because you're so focused on food, water, shelter, sex. So again, and then they made us only be able to focus on survival by making life so hard that becomes our primary focus. So the whole paradigm, the whole system, the whole value system was all about creating programs and paradigms to get us to be confused and divided, so that in the end game, they will go after what? Yes, by the television. The end game was to go after your children. The end game was to go after, do nefarious things to harness the blood and energy from, take the innocence from your children. And if you don't know something that you should know, I'm gonna tell you right now, going through the back door to do things to children and even to humans, what you do in a marital bed is your business. But I'm gonna tell you, is a psychological program that was created in order to cause a fractured mind. So what they do is they go through the back door with children, because what that happens is, in order to cope, the children will create fractured personalities. They will create multiple personalities. So they do that to them. So they, in order to cope or try to deal with it, they create multiple personalities. And then those children become very easily persuaded. They can program them easily, and then they can send them out to world leaders and give them messages. Then the child, they will go as one personality. Then the child will come back and completely forget what they did. Because when you go through the back door, you open up a portal. I'm talking about anal. You go through a portal that causes trauma to a child. You see? And once that happens, my darlings, you cannot take that back. Thank you, darling. You cannot take that back. So this is a part of MK Ultra control. And this is why I'm saying we have to take back what has been taken from us. And that is your power as the mama and as the daddy, as the matriarch and the patriarch. We're supposed to work together. Now, I hear a lot of people saying, that the man shouldn't be the leader or whatever. We're not talking about that right here. We're talking about family. What was another paradigm, a trick of the powers that be? It was feminism. I'm not talking about, yes. I'm not talking about, that women shouldn't be treated fairly. I'm talking about feminism in the way that the woman should compete with a man for certain things, or the woman should usurp the role of the man. So when a woman usurps the role of the man, what happens is, you say you don't need a man. You say you can do everything by yourself. You say you are the man and the woman. You say you keep him away from his child. This isn't everybody. I'm just saying that program that you can do what you want to do. It's your thing. You can sleep with whoever you want to do. Hey, you're grown. Do what you want to do. But what I'm telling you is that program has completely harmed certain families, because if that's not a part of your family values, it will harm the family. So I hope I'm not saying anything to upset anybody. Good morning, good evening. So let's get back to how schools, political policies, sex education programs, which traumatized me growing up, because I didn't know about sex. So as soon as they started talking about it in the schools and giving condoms to these young men, I was groped on. People kept trying to force me or beg me, and I just was not ready for. I was literally traumatized. I was an innocent person, young person who knew nothing about that and didn't want to know anything about that, but I was bombarded by it in schools. And then you had a bunch of horny boys who were told it was okay as long as you could use a condom. And, with no training, no father or very few fathers at home to tell them how to channel that, or to wait until you get a certain age. I was traumatized, as were many women, young girls, I should say. And some of them actually gave in and became young single mothers as children. So these agendas, family, has harmed our society. You put her to work and collect more money. When you put the woman to work and she doesn't have a mindset to do something to teach the children, or to contribute to the family, or to collaborate with the husband, and you tell her she can have her own money and do whatever she wants to do, it could be destructive. So we have to take back the power that was taken away from us. So, family, when you realize that all these programs have been put in place to get our children to do whatever they want to do, to get the woman out the house, to get the man to do whatever, to focus on other things, or keep the man out the house, to drain him of all his money by forcing him to give everything to the children. Now, you're supposed to take care of your child, but I'm talking about certain systems that were put in place to drain certain men. We have to take our power back, because again, if you destroy the fabric of the family, you destroy the society. So what do you need to do? Yes, you have to be the man as a single mom, Andre. Yes, you do. I know it's hard. So we have to find a way to help the men to take care of their children, to be providers and protectors. And I hear a lot of women say, we need to go back to matriarchy. We just need to let the women be in control because this system is out of whack. Y'all not ready for matriarchy. You're not. You're not. You are not, because a lot of women won't collaborate right now. We don't help the single mothers. We don't work together. We don't help Andrea. We'll judge her. We'll talk about her being a baby mama. We don't even know if she's been married or not. You know, I was a single mom when my husband and I were separated. That stuff is hard as heck. But what I did, because it was so hard, was got around my back with around my children's father, his family, the church family, however I could. But you're not ready for matriarchy, because the first thing that matriarchs would do, and I'm going to hurt some people's feelings, is make sure every woman has a husband, even if that means that some men have to be shared. If you want to talk about true matriarchal societies, because I studied this at length, and I don't believe in polygyny. But if you talk about true matriarchy, especially coming from a system where you got all this craziness, some matriarchs in some societies will make sure every woman has a husband. Now, the thing about women is, some women, they don't want to share a man in polygyny. They don't, because nobody wants to share. I don't want to share. I ain't sharing. But within a defined structure with discipline, orders, and laws, some people make it work. Women don't want to share under those constraints, but they'll go out and cheat with another woman's husband under chaos. They'll go out and make babies with another woman's man under chaotic system. You don't want the true matriarchy, because the true matriarchy will do whatever's sustainable. She will say, this woman doesn't have a husband. If indeed there in a community there are more men than women, I'm sorry, more women than men, a matriarchal society is not going to let all those women not have provision and protection. A matriarchal society is going to make sure all her sisters are provided for and protected. But y'all not ready for that discussion. So stop saying you want to go to a true matriarchy. And for all of y'all that's always under a man, you get mad and angry when he's out working, trying to provide for you because you're insecure and you haven't dealt with your issues. Baby, you're not ready for a matriarchy, because in true matriarchal societies, the man lives in a community all together by themselves, and they only go into the home of the woman to procreate, and it is her family's job to provide and take care of the children. Now, the land belongs to her, the resources belong to her, but he doesn't have to provide and protect her. We're not ready for all that. Let's figure out, until we can create a more sustainable society, how we can take our power back from those people who are wicked and who have destroyed the family. The matriarchy is putting the children first. So mama, big mama, the matriarchy is going to say, what's in the best interest of these children? Is the best interest of these children to not have a father in the home? What if her husband died? What if he abused her? Now, we wouldn't allow the woman to just leave for no reason at all like we do today. I'm saying we, because I'm a woman. What would we do? She's going to put the children she's going to put the children first. Hi, Florida. and the midwife. So, family, this is a good title to tear it down and start over with a strong foundation to rebuild something that we can be proud of. Absolutely. So, there are ethnic groups in Mongolia that do exactly that. Men live separate. Thank you, Sister Tamu, because I didn't want it to seem like I'm just making stuff up. When you talk about you want a matriarchal society, you got to know what you're asking for. So let's go back to talking about the paradigm in which we live in. Right now, the nuclear family consists of the father, the mother, and the child. Horus, or not Horus, Isis, Osiris, and Horus. Yes, Father, Mother, Char, Asara, Set, Heru, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, and the Holy Spirit being the mother. So what you have to do, first of all, is say, okay, if you've bought into the liberal agenda and you've allowed yourself to be played by the system, and you bought into these paradigms and programs, and they've shut your mouth, and they told you couldn't talk to your children, they told you can't bring order and structure in your home, they told you that all this is wrong, then what you need to do first is know what your morals are and your values, know what your mission is for yourself and your family, know the vision for yourself and your family, and write it down. Because unless you know what the vision, where you're headed in the future, how you're going to accomplish it, and what rules support that, and morals and values support that, you can be led astray, as well as your children. Okay. Thank you for watching from Jacksonville. Hey, Soli. Hi, Soli. I got to meet Soli in person. Hi, Soli Rodriguez. There are ethnic groups. Yes. So all it takes, one dog to bring back an STD to the tribe to wipe everybody out. Ooh, goodness. Woo, so we got to get order. We got to get order, Scott. What we going to do without order? You have to know what your vision is. If you've been a victim of this system, then I'm going to use some religious terms, okay? You need to admit it. Okay, I've been a victim. I have allowed the society to tell me that it's better for me to go outside of the home and make all this money for a corporate entity, to fight through traffic to get there, work there for 40 to 60 hours, keep me out of the home, away from my children, move me all the way away from my mother and from my extended family, and build this other man's empire, rather than building something within my marriage. You see what I mean? I've been a victim of it. We can say, like, admit it. I've been a victim of it, maybe by force, maybe by choice, maybe because I didn't have any other option, because I had to be mother and father. So saying with our mouth that, yes, this is something I've had to do, or that I've been a victim of, or that, that is a part of my reality. All you're doing is taking accountability for what has happened in your family. So you have to know your values and mission and your principles, and say, okay, this is what I believe in. Write it down. And if their paradigm is not in alignment with my value system, I'm going to take accountability for having bought into that. And then I'm going to repent. Repent only means to turn away from. That's it. That's all repent means. I'm going to turn around. I'm going to do a 180. I'm going to change my way of thinking. I'm going to do a paradigm shift. I'm going to change the way I've been operating so that I can bring my family back in alignment with my morals, my values, my mission statement, and my vision statement. So again, know what your vision is, your mission is, and your values. Ask yourself if you've been operating in alignment with them, and you can just look at the programs that you've been living by. Is it in alignment with your values, mission, and vision? If not, take accountability. Admit it out of your mouth. When you confess with your mouth, it becomes easier to turn away, to turn from it, to repent, to turn away, and then go to back to doing what you're supposed to be doing according to your family values. It's not that hard, family. I'm going to show you how. You're welcome, Mighty Bell. I'm going to show you how. I'm becoming more conservative as I grow older. Those liberals, whack, sister, whack, whack, whack. You're welcome, sister. I love you so much. So this is what we can do to take our power back. You know what? Now we have our daughters who, they don't know what it means to take care of children. They don't know how to sew. They don't know how to cook. I'm not saying this is what they have to do. I'm saying, what's going to happen when the system crashes? What's going to happen when all these corporations close? Because they're closing. Tens of thousands of people are being laid off as I speak. What's going to happen when the food shortage continues, when a supply chain continues to be disrupted? It's going to get better, but what's going to happen in the interim? Can we grow our own food? Can we mend our own clothes? Can we teach our own children? Can we do our own hair? Because we've already learned that when something traumatic happens or dramatic, like a shutdown of the whole world, you have to figure it out. What's going to happen if there's no more water being delivered? Who knows how to dig the wells? You see what I mean? We have to get back to family values, morals, and principles. So know what they are. Admit whether or not you've been doing them, confess it with your mouth, repent or turn back to your family value system, and then just do it. So let's get into how you can do it. Gentlemen, if you are the leader of your house, I'm gonna speak to women too, because sometimes women are lead. If you are the leader of the house, choose a woman whose values and vision there are in alignment with what you believe. Because if you choose a woman whose value system is a part of the lost value system, is a part of chaos and confusion, is a part of I can do whatever I want to do. I don't have to listen to you. I'm my own person, she is her own person, but I don't have to cooperate with you. If you're married to a woman like that, it's going to be very difficult for you. Okay. Nobody respects a man whose woman does not cooperate with him. Nobody respects a man who cannot lead his own household. Okay. Nobody respects a man who's got a lot of mouth and talking all the time. Nobody respects a man who's nasty, angry, vicious, and violent. Nobody respects a man whose woman doesn't want to be home to take care of her children, not unless she has to, or it's an agreement. You agreed. Okay. Nobody respects a man, whether it's out in the workforce, in politics, in the community, who doesn't have a woman who is like-minded, who can support his vision or their family vision. So be very mindful. The scripture says it's better for a man to dwell on the roof of a house than to dwell in a house with a contentious woman. Know what that means? It's better for you to be out in the elements, in the cold, in an unsafe place, in the wilderness, on somewhere far tall on the roof where you can fall easily and everybody laugh at you. You're the laughing stock. Than to live in a house with a woman who does not know how to cooperate with her husband, work together, synergize in order to have peace and in order to work together to create a vision for the family. Okay, I'm gonna show you, sister. Women, if you in matriarchy, a man would show up spontaneously to instruct his sons without anyone having the right to compel him. I like that. Imagine the quality of such leadership. It would be pure inspiration. That's beautiful. Thank you for bringing that out. Thank you for instructing us, sister. So a man would show up spontaneously to instruct his son under a matriarch. That would be a beautiful system. Women, if you are a leader in your house, you had to stop working, high income, single. Oh yeah, you got to do what you got to do, sister. I understand. And this is not to bemoan you or talk against you. For you, sister, where are you? Gosh. If you were on the path when I got conditioned to stop working, high income, single. Okay. If you are a woman who is the leader of your house, you have to have a vision for the family. or else they will be controlled or enticed to be led by school systems, musicians, entertainers, actors, policies, procedures, and all that. So you want to make sure you have a vision for the family. Okay, so that is if you're a single mom or the matriarchy. Okay, you still have to do that. If you are a wife, the two of you can sit down together. Now, a man should have a vision and a purpose and values on his own before he gets married, because women don't respect men who don't have vision. I don't care what women say. We don't like weak men. We don't like men that have no direction. We don't like men that have no discipline. We typically, in general, do not like men who don't have some type of blinders on his eyes where he's focused on achieving goals. And if he comes from a certain bloodline, that's already been determined for him. So you're not going to come in and be able to change his trajectory, but you can influence him. Let me talk to the women for a moment, because I'm a woman. We're going to talk about vision and mission statements. If when you sit down to write your vision statement, you have a strong husband who already has the vision in mind, but you see some value to adding to the vision, or you're working together collaboratively, sometimes men have what's called an ego. That's a good thing. We love men with egos, because without an ego, they can't conquer. They won't build. They won't provide a structure. Now, men have provided such a good hierarchy, such great infrastructure. They've done so well with roads and buildings and all that, and created systems and government. And women have helped, but they've done so well at it that now we're saying, I don't need a man. But that's another story. But if you have a husband who doesn't necessarily know how to listen to you, because he have that testosterone, he has an ego, which we love, this is how you can help persuade him. You use something that the elder women used to teach the younger women. Okay, you use the power of persuasion. Now, this isn't to trick him or to cause him to do something nefarious or bad or go against his values. I'm saying if you can add something to the vision and the mission statement. Stay with me, family, because we're going to go to how to do this. The art of persuasion is very, very powerful. Read the book, The Art of Persuasion. You, as a woman, inspire a man. Women inspire men, not your money. Men are concerned with your money. They're not concerned with boss chicks. It doesn't inspire them. They're not concerned with your degrees, your educational attainment. It means nothing to them. Very little. I mean, it's nice, it's cool, but it does not inspire them. All of that, being a boss chick, getting a bag, I got a degree, I got a doctorate and 2 masters. That does not inspire a man or move him to action. Do you know what inspires a man? What inspires a man is your femininity. What inspires your man is your beauty. Now, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. If he chose you, he considers you at some level being beautiful, the eye of his affection, the apple of his eye, his choice. What inspires a man is your femininity, your softness, your agreeableness, and your ability to cooperate and even to be yielding. Now, I'm not saying you have to be stepped on, controlled, or none of that. What inspires a man, help me out, men. Am I right or a man? Or am I wrong? What inspires a man is your femininity. What inspires a man, is your softness. What inspires a man is the characteristics that you have that are different from a man, that are the opposite of his hardness. That's the opposite of aggression. Okay, he has testosterone, you have estrogen. We both have both, but what inspires him is your sensuality, making suggestions. So if we're going to talk about vision statements, but if you have value in your husband, maybe he wants to lead a discussion, or maybe he just wants to collaborate. Women, do not talk over him. Do not yell and shout at him. Do not name call him. Do not call him stupid. Do not use your boardroom antics and attitude and your boardroom persona that you have to use in order to climb up the ladder to persuade your man. It doesn't work. And this is whether, even if you have the same sex relationship, If you have the role as the leader and the other person has another role, both people can't be going at each other like that. So listen to me. This is ridiculousness. The ridiculousness of teaching them this is sick. So what inspires a man, a lot of women don't want to hear that. A lot of women don't want to hear this. A lot of women don't want to hear make suggestions, because it doesn't matter who it comes from. What matters is getting the job done. What matters is creating a vision statement for the family and casting the vision, getting a buy-in from your spouse, and then making sure everything that you do as a family is in alignment with and conducive to the vision of the family. So say you say that the vision of your family is to create generational wealth for your posterity, to provide leadership and create generational wealth for your posterity. That's future oriented, and it talks about what you intend to happen for your family or do for your family. If that is your vision, then everything you do should be in alignment with that vision. Arguing over roles, what's the man role, what's the woman role, is not conducive to providing leadership and generational wealth for your posterity, which is your future generations. You see what I mean? This is why it's so important, thank you, sister, to choose a mate who is in alignment with your purpose and your vision. Because men, if you don't do this, nobody's going to respect you, okay? Now, y'all don't want me to talk about the king in the Bible who called for his wife Vashti to come before him. Okay, he said, "Come on, Vashti, you're so beautiful. I want to show you off." This is an aside. And show how beautiful you are. Vashti, this is a biblical scripture, said, "I'm not going to him. I'm not doing what he said do. I got other things to do." She was oppositional. Now, that's her right, but with your right comes consequences. The king was disgruntled. He was sad. She didn't do what I asked her to do. Now, y'all calling yourselves kings and queens. I'm just telling you what the Bible says, okay? For y'all that are Christians, because it really blows my mind how we Christians don't follow the Bible, how Muslims don't follow the Quran, how people who say they go by the principles of Ma'at, how we don't follow those. Especially me too. I'm talking to me too, if it's not in alignment with what we feel like doing for the day. So what happened was that the elders talked to, and his advisors talked to the king and said, "King, if you allow that woman to continue to be oppositional and not do what you ask her to do, then all the men in the kingdom will be disrespected and disregarded by their wives, and we will have chaos and confusion in the whole kingdom." Now, this Vashti must have been that type of woman that you can actually say no to a king. What in the world? So he replaced her. He said, "What should I do?" They said, "Get rid of her, replace her, go on, get rid of her." And then they called for all the virgins. And this is how Esther was able to come in and become the wife, because Mordecai, who worked for the king, went out and told the women in his camp that I know an elegant woman is hard to find. We're going to have to create them. We need feminism and masculine for the balance. So I'm not saying that men need to get rid of their wives. I'm talking about that's the way they did in certain kingdoms. So we don't want that to happen where a man is so disrespected because the woman won't comply or the woman won't work with him or synergize with him. We don't want a woman to be so unhappy because a man won't listen to him and so she feels the need to leave. We don't want that. We need our homes to have peace and balance. So hear me out. So a woman knows how to persuade her husband without yelling, talking over him, emasculating him, or hurting his ego or fracturing his ego. Because when you love your husband, you want to make sure his ego is intact, and you want to make sure he's not offended. As a husband, you don't want to yell at your wife, scream at her, tell her she's stupid or what she has to bring to the table is not of value. You want to love her. You want to provide for her. You want to love her, if you're a Christian, as Christ loved the church, okay? Because if you love her as Christ loved the church, where he was able to sacrifice for the church, then many women will conform and comply and listen to you. Okay. So this is what you want to do. When I was married, I was 18, and we're going to get to what a vision statement looks like. And my mother-in-law sat me down. No, in fact, I was sitting at the kitchen. We're about to do the vision statement. Give me 60 seconds. I was washing dishes and I was 18. I married her son at 18. I was groomed and raised in the church. I married as a virgin. Back then, that was something you want. And I made up in my mind early on, I wasn't going to have a lot of, sex before marriage. I didn't want any sex before marriage. I didn't want to have children by different men. Not that I don't support that paradigm, but I knew it would be harder for me in life because of the value system that we're under right now, in which we live. And I was like, I'm not going to make my life harder. That's just stupid for me. So I married her son at 18. I was washing dishes and she said, her name is Sandra Lattimore. She said, and I'm looking at her picture right now. Thank you, Mom. She said, this is my mother-in-law. She passed in 2012, September. She said, daughter, she had a sweet, sweet voice. Daughter, now I'm going to tell you something right now. I know you're married to my son, Dougie. He passed January 28th of 2022. Let me teach you something that's very important, daughter. If ever you want to persuade your husband, please make sure that you do it in a certain way. You have to be soft and sweet. Make a suggestion. Make a suggestion, daughter. Offer suggestions. And even if he acts like it was his idea, it's okay. Make a suggestion because men are inclined to listen to and accept suggestions. Not a command, not a demand, but a suggestion. And when you make a suggestion, sometimes you need a woman to be cutthroat. Okay. When you make a suggestion, it makes his heart flutter, especially when you use a soft voice and you smile and you bat your eyes. And remember that little dainty thingy I bought you that shows all your boobs and your tushy? You wear that. And you walk around the house while you're cooking and cleaning with your heels. And you talk to your husband and say, sweetie, I was thinking about that vision statement. And maybe we should add this or that. My mother-in-law actually taught me that. And being a malleable, respectful woman of my elders and really valuing her instruction, I said, yes, ma'am, tell me more. And if you really want to get what you want, just suggest when you're making love to him, because he's your husband, and everything that's done in the marital bed is lawful and the bed is undefiled. So this is how my mother-in-law taught me. Now, I'm not telling you all how to behave. I'm just saying that the way a lot of men are devised, you can't be nasty or mean or emasculating. Okay, so let's get into a vision statement. So I said you have to know what your vision is, you have to know what your mission is, and you have to create the values. Listen, this is what a vision is and a vision statement. I'm going to share the screen. A vision. Every family needs a vision statement. Every family needs a vision statement. What is a vision statement? I suggest every husband and wife to sit down and create a vision statement for the family. I suggest if you are only a husband or only a father or a mother and you don't have a companion, even you need a vision statement. A vision statement describes what a company, and for our intents and purposes, a family desires to achieve in the long run, generally in a time frame of 5 to 10 years or sometime even longer. It depicts a vision of what that company will look like in the future and sets a defined direction for the planning and execution of corporate level strategy. So a vision statement describes where you want to take your family. What do you desire to achieve in the long run? Okay, so let's look at the vision statement here for Microsoft. Let's talk about Microsoft, since Microsoft is a company that everybody knows. So your family is like a corporation, okay? Because your family is a entity that this will work if it worked for my family. Even when I was separated, I had to make a decision. If I want this family to be moved forward in the right direction, then I have to make some changes. I have to let's just say I had to make some changes, and I had to learn to become agreeable with my children's father. And we had to sit down and even so when he had a vision that maybe I thought could be tweaked a little bit, I used my femininity and my feminine wisdom to persuade him or to encourage him or to inspire him to do things that were in a line that made sense. So this is the vision of Microsoft: to create local opportunity, growth, and impact in every community and country around the world. So you need to create a vision statement. These are the key elements of a vision statement. That was a good vision statement for Microsoft because it says companies should not be too ambitious in defining their long-term goals, but it's critical to set a bigger and further target, a vision statement that communicates a company's aspirations. So a vision statement should be forward-looking. I'm talking about for your families, motivational, inspirational, reflective of your family's culture and core values. It should bring benefits and improvements to your family in the future, because we're looking at your family as an organization. It should define your family's reason for existence. So let's look at the example of Microsoft. Can y'all see this? Keep talking to each other. This doesn't happen anymore. Aww. So let's look at this company's vision statement. Let's look at Microsoft's corporate vision statement. Microsoft Corp is an American multinational company that develops, manufactures, licenses, and sells technologies, etc. It is also one of the largest corporations in the world, along with companies such as Apple. You all know this. So let's look at their vision statement: to create local opportunity, growth, and impact in every community and country around the world. Their vision statement is forward-looking because delivering growth and impact in every community would conceivably take a lifetime or many lifetimes. Do you all know that in many families, they don't just have a vision plan that looks into the 5-year time period or 10-year time frame? There are actually some families and bloodlines that create a vision statement for generations. There are bloodlines and families that have 1,000-year programs, okay? A vision statement that looks into the future for thousands of years. So this is why it was a good vision statement for Microsoft, because it's forward-looking. It also brings the message of leading to change and improving the quality of living standards all around the world, which strongly reflect Microsoft's values of innovation, diversity, and inclusion, corporate social responsibility, and environment. So when you create a vision statement, your vision statement for your family, again, should be forward. It should look out into the future and say, this is what I intend for my family to look like in 5, 10 years, 100 years, 1,000 years. So let's go back to the vision statement I said. Let's say the vision statement for your family is to provide leadership and build generational wealth for your posterity. I just made that up. It's forward-looking. It looks into the future. It's in alignment with the mission and the values of your family, and it is your responsibility to make sure that that happens so that nobody else can provide a vision for your family, a vision statement or a mission statement. Now let's look at what a mission statement is. Please, family, if you want to see your family succeed, if you desire to build generational wealth, if you desire to provide productive adults who can function in society, if you have leadership principles that you desire to pass on to your children, values, all these things, trades, you need a vision statement. And you and your companion, your husband or your wife, if you have one, should be in alignment with them. You should get the buy-in of your companion so that each person can operate in their role to do so. Whoever is the provider and the protector will always remember that this is what I'm working for my future generations, for my posterity. You see, this is important. Why are we not concerned about our bloodline? Why are we arguing about a male's role and a woman's role? Why are we arguing about whether or not a woman wears weave and all this stuff that doesn't make sense when we need to be passing on values, trades, principles, morals to our posterity? What are your future generations going to look like? Okay. So create a vision statement, and then you should be having family meetings that talks about that vision statement and what it looks like, whether or not all the things that you do are in alignment with it, how you can come back to it if you come away from it, or else somebody else is going to have a vision for you and your children and your grandchildren, okay? So this is why the vision statement is important. So the provider and protector should, everything he does, is this in alignment with the vision for my family, or he or she, the supportive role, the teacher, the educator? Everything I do should be in alignment. Every outing that I create, every family activity should be in alignment with my vision for my family. Okay, you're welcome. So that's the mission, the vision statement. Write down the vision statement, have family meetings. The woman can call it, the man can call it. You all decide who should do that. And it's important when you run a corporation to make sure that you get a buy-in from your family. But when you have young children, it's up to you how you do that, because sometimes they don't understand or understand why you're doing what you're doing. So every activity should just, like I said, align with that vision statement so it becomes a part of the culture of your family. Even meals can be prepared to be conducive with your vision statement. Yes, because if your vision is to provide or create leaders and to create or build generational wealth for your posterity, the meals that you serve should align with that vision statement. Am I going to provide, create a healthy leader if I'm only feeding them junk? Probably not. Is my child going to be able to take good care of this generational wealth if I'm feeding them foods that will cause cancer? Probably not. If I send my kid to this school, my child to this school where they're going to be mistreated and miseducated, will that create good leaders that's in alignment with my vision statement? You see what everything you do should align with that vision statement and collaborate with and be conducive to bringing about that vision. Running a business can distract you from your higher self. That's true. So you might need some help. Now let's look at the mission statement. So you need a vision statement and a mission statement. I encourage you and admonish you to study how to create a mission statement. I don't want to take up all your time. A mission statement defines what line of business a company is in, why it exists, or what is the purpose that it serves. A mission statement should be concise. It should also define the company's corporate strategy if possible, but it should be concise. In fact, a mission statement defining what line of business you're in and why it exists or what the purpose is something that everybody in your family should be able to state quickly. So when I was a leader at Grace Temple Church in Louisville, Kentucky, our mission was something like to save the lost and encourage the saved. Completely simple. Save the lost and encourage the saved. Then we had objectives to how to do that, and we had values that supported that. Our vision statement was longer because we talked about where we saw the church going for the future. So every program that I created or led, and every program that other people created or led had to be in alignment with the vision and mission statement. So let's look at the mission statement of Microsoft: to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. Simple, concise. Your 5-year-old should be able to say it. To empower every person, every organization on the planet to achieve more. Your children should be able to say it upon asking. The wife should be able to say it. The husband should be able to say it. Everybody in the family, in the home, should be able to say it upon command. So they should rehearse it. They should know it. It should be brought up in family meetings. And it's something that you need to know and become a part of you. It becomes a part of your lifestyle. It becomes a part of who you are. And if you need help with creating a vision statement or a mission statement, I encourage you to read books. I encourage you to fast or pray. I encourage you to do certain rituals, whatever it is in alignment with your philosophy or your religion. This is why they took out ancestral communication, because when we communicate with our ancestor would then tell us how to do these things. But the powers that were took that out of our psyche or our mentality. Prayer, if that's a part of your value system, pray and ask the creator or source or your ancestors how to create a vision. What should the vision for your family be? What should the mission statement look like? What else? Fasting is important for those, if you value fasting, because anytime you sacrifice or you take something away from the flesh, or the food, then what happens is the flesh decreases and your inner man or spiritual man or higher man increases according to certain philosophies. So some people actually incorporate fasting into their lifestyle in order to reach their higher self. So if you're abstaining from food, you're abstaining from the television, so you're not inundated with all these energies and all these different things, vibrations and frequencies. You turn off the music unless it's conducive to you reaching your higher self. You fast, then you get some mental clarity about what your vision and mission statement should look like. I hope this is making sense, family. So that's the mission statement. It's concise, it's easy, it's simple. It tells what line of business your family is in, why you exist, and the purpose that you serve. So let's look at Microsoft's mission. It's an American, this multinational company that develops and manufactures and licenses and sells technology, yada, yada, yada. But let's look at the mission statement. It is a good example. Can you see that? Of a mission statement. And we're going to talk about why it's a good example of a mission statement. Because it provides a broad enough scale or scope to explain what the company can do. And it also is inspirational. It's all about empowering people. It is the kind of statement that people can get excited about and can rally behind. In a family, it's important to create a mission statement that talks about what the purpose of your family is and something that they can become excited about. So when you write that mission statement, make sure it has those components and make sure it's clear and concise, something that you should be able to state in seconds. And as a leader, I would actually have people to practice this. And I will ask them upon command or demand or whatever to state it. And I will reward people for knowing it. Now let's look at values. Your values should support your mission and your vision. Here, their value was innovation for Microsoft, diversity and inclusion, corporate social responsibility, philanthropy, environment, trustworthy computing. So those are the values, family. It is so important for you to have a vision statement. Oh, the screen went out of clear focus. I'm sorry about that. It's so important for you to have a vision statement, a mission statement, and values, because if you do not, somebody will have a vision for you in your family. Now, I say take the power back. If you are being persuaded by the television, turn it off. To go against your values and mission and vision statement, once you create them, turn it off. If you are being persuaded by the media, which and it's not conducive or in alignment with your values, mission and vision, turn it off. If the music is not alignment, turn it off and replace it with that is in alignment, with the frequencies, with the instruction, with the educational programs that are in alignment with your vision statement, your mission statement, and your value system. If the foods that you provide or that you buy and that you bring into the house from the restaurant or from different places is not conducive to the growth and well-being of your family, change it. This is what I mean by repenting. Acknowledge that I have bought into something that's not in alignment with my goals and vision, mission, and statement, my values. You won't even know if it's in alignment with that if you don't write it down or you just don't know what your values are. Change it if you have gone away from those things. That's what I mean by repenting. Change it. Sit your family down and say, this is what we're going to start doing. If you realize I've allowed this to happen, I've not stood up because they said that I wouldn't be inclusive or I'm not politically correct, but your behavior, young person in this family or older person, whatever, your behavior has not been conducive to the vision, mission, and values of this family. So you need to stop and stop now. Now you can say that however you want to say it. You can say it sweetly. You can say it directly. One of the gentlemen, CJ, said, I need a woman to be cutthroat and direct with me. Hey, if that's what you need, listen, if you his wife or his woman, you know what you need to do. CJ, you've been out of order. This is not in alignment with the values that you and I wrote at our family meeting on December 20th, 2022 at 8:00 p.m. So I need you to stop it. That's what he needs. He said, if you are a woman whose man has an ego and can't take that type or don't like that type of direct conversation because he values softness, femininity, and a woman that can cooperate and make suggestions, then learn the art of persuasion. There's a whole book out there about how to do it, okay? How to persuade, how to speak in a manner that's elegant and graceful and something that a man can receive. If you are a parent and your children are not in alignment with your morals, values, principles, vision, and mission statement, then make sure, bring them back in. Take the power back. Take it back. Tell them this is what we're going to do, and you're going to do it now, or you have a certain amount of time to get it done. Now, I'm all about order, structure, and discipline. And I've been that way all my life. I've been talked about. I've been laughed at. But the same people who laughed at me now look at the trajectory of my family and they understand and overstand why I did the things that I did, why I had family meetings, why I have a vision statement for the family, why I have a mission statement for the family, why I have values for my family. I don't care if they're not in alignment with what the world says. I could give a darn about political correctness. Somebody saying I'm phobic of something. I could give a darn. Because if it's not in alignment with what I have in mind and my vision for my family, it's not allowed and permitted in this bloodline, point blank, period. You can do what you want to do. I'm telling you that if you are a leader, work, act, and think like a leader, because nobody respects a leader that they can walk all over or encouraged to change their values because of what the world is doing. I don't care what the world is doing. They're not part of my bloodline, and neither are they going to get the generational wealth that this family is focused on creating. So if you have found any value in this live stream, I encourage you to study what a vision statement is, create one. Study what a mission statement is, create one. Define what your values are for yourself and your family as a whole. Define it, write it out, because when you write things out on paper, it's clear, it's concise, and it helps you to remember it. Look at it. Rehearse your vision statement, rehearse your mission statement, rehearse your values. You should know them upon command. Whether those values are in alignment with the Quran, the Bible, other philosophical thoughts, the principle 48 laws or principles of Ma'at is up to you and your family to determine. But you need to do this if you indeed care about the trajectory of your family and your bloodline. Now, I say bloodline because that's another word for family. You should rehearse them. You should bring them to the attention of your family, and you should make sure every activity, every meal, everything that you do is in alignment with your vision and mission statement and your value system. Having said that, family, I'm now open for questions. If you have any questions about anything, yes, there are books that they have created on how to create a mission statement. They actually have books that tell you how to. They give you list of words, and you can look at the words that really resonate with you, write them down, and you can mark off. They did a whole system of how you can scratch out those that are not as important as others, and they actually teach you how to write a mission statement. Books that will do that. Online, you can find information to tell you how to write out a mission statement. Great message, needs to be talked about more often. Thank you, Brother Keith, because I know I can be preachy. I know some of this is not in alignment with how everybody thinks, but we the people love. Oh, thank you so much, Adam. Oh, thank you. That really encourages and strengthens my soul. I love you too. These are the things that you need to do. So we also need to create within the community rites of passage programs so that our men can learn how to become men. Like one of the sisters said, under matriarchy, the father or the man would come, drop in spontaneously to teach men certain things. So when we can get the family unit together, then as a community, we can create rites of passage programs to help the men become men. They used to have men used to be able to do apprentice programs, and they would learn with their daddy and their granddaddy and all these things in order to learn how to provide and protect for the family. We need programs to help the young ladies that want to learn how to sew, and men can learn this too. My son's a tailor. Men and women who want to know how to sew, how to cook, how to grow food, how to make shoes, how to teach, how to do hair, how to do a number of things. Trust me, the reason why I'm saying this, because the way in which we're going right now, you're going to need this. Mark my words, Dr. Kia Pruitt said this, December the 20th, 2022 at 5:52 p.m. This will all be necessary for those who want to thrive and survive in the future. No, I didn't hear about the shift of consciousness taking place tomorrow, but I can imagine that December 21st is probably a very important day. That's the day that my children's father and I got married in 1986 when I was 18, December 21st. So it's a very important day to me. Values are solid and true. Thank you so much, Sister April. Anybody have questions? Like Miss Kia doing, standing for people should have the deal information that they need to make a sound choice, not certain agendas or programs. Anything else, family? They removed a lot of the program in the past. Oh yeah, 10 years. Yes, they removed a lot of those programs to help people, like apprentice programs, trade schools. It's all a part of their paradigm. It's all a part of their system. If you take out the trade schools, then how are men going to learn and women going to learn how to make shoes? How are they going to learn how to do woods and build houses? All of these major corporations that were building things, some of them are going bankrupt. So we got to figure out a way to get back to this. The fraudulent government got to go, and it starts in the family. It starts with the family unit, because if you can get yourself together and have values and a mission statement and a vision statement for yourself, then you can then also make sure you have it for your family. And once you have that for your family, remember, whole healthy families create whole healthy communities. Then we can branch out and create healthy communities. His bank canceled his debt. Oh, $70,000. Thank you for sharing that. That lets us know that NESARA, yes, NESARA is happening right before our eyes. So NESARA is the National Economic and Security, National Economic Security National Economic Security and Reformation Act, and JSARS, the Global Economic Security Reformation Act, will cancel all debt. And his friend just had that canceled. Oh, the 22nd is when it happens. Thank you. Yep, Nasara. I'm right. I'm doing my best to provide the best information that I can, family. Thank you so much. We need to use the white magic that God created, and the men should use theirs. I like that. Then love will not leave that home. Ooh, Teresa, are you the one that told me to read the book She, He, and We? And it talks about how you can learn feminine principles, or how you can learn understand feminine psychology. Yes, and then male psychology. And then We talks about how you can learn relationships. Those are 3 books that I have on order right now. They're really good to learn so that we can learn how to get this family back in order. You thought today was the 21st. It's the 20th, my darling. I don't know what y'all must be talking to each other. Somebody said, hello, who is mom? Christine Harris. You've been working on manifestation since February 22nd. From a knock to knock, back on the zigzag zig with the turnaround time, December 22nd. So he sent a letter, then he went to the bank to verify because he couldn't believe it. His debt was completely canceled. It's happening, family. Home economics was also an actual major. In home economics, they actually taught you how to run the home. But what happened was that the government then created a program that said that taking care of the home was slavery for women. And so you need to take that out of the schools. I remember that. So they actually created programs called Singles Living. I was in high school at the time. Home economics taught people how, and men could be in the program too, how to cook, how to stitch, sew buttons on, and some of them learned how to sew, how to budget, how to manage money. All that was in home economics. They took it out of the schools. It was an actual major. Absolutely. Let's see. Anything else? Yes, it was. I don't recognize the books, but they sound interesting. Yes, they seem very, very interesting. What's happening on the 21st or 22nd? Somebody, can you say what's happening? You just got here. So we talked about how to take back your power from the liberal agenda that was put in place by these entities that sought to destroy the family. We talked about what the family is, how to define family. We talked about what the liberal agenda was. We talked about how we can combat that. CJ, I didn't realize you're in Louisville, Kentucky. I just moved from there for a year and a half ago. You might have told me that and I forgot. We talked about how to create a vision statement and why that's important for your family. So again, a vision statement is the statement that discusses where you see your family going in the future, either in 5 or 10 years or further down the line than that. Some people are arguing over minute things, while some families actually have 10-year plans, 5-year plans, 1,000-year plans even. I had a friend who worked for a Japanese company, and he said in that Japanese company, they actually had books, management books, of how to take the company for thousands, where to take the company in the future, thousands of years into the future. And every single manager had to learn all the principles of every last management book. It had to become a part of them. They had to eat it, drink it, live it even, and ensure that the way they managed their departments were in alignment with the 1,000-year plans of this Japanese company. So let me all show you something. Let me show you all something, because this is important too. And then I'll take my seat, as the preachers used to say. Let me show you how some communities are living, okay? How they're doing in America, if I can. Look at this. I hope you can see this. Median household income in America. This is from my Facebook page. I probably should have taken it off the Facebook page. This is how certain families are doing. This is important in America. At the top, Indian Americans are making $100,000, $100,500 in their homes. That's the median. Well, that's the median income in the Indian American families. Filipino Americans are bringing in the household $83,300. Taiwanese Americans are bringing in a household $82,500. Sri Lankans, their families, communities, are bringing home $74,600 per year. That's the median income. The median income for, did I say Japanese, is $72,300. So Japanese Americans are doing pretty well here in this country. Malaysian Americans, and these are some people or families that aren't doing well in their own countries, but they come to America and somehow they're able to create a value system, a mission statement, a vision statement, and live by it, and make sure they do this. Malaysians are bringing in $70,300. Chinese Americans, median income is $69,100. Pakistani Americans, median household income $66,200. Median income. Our Caucasian Americans are making, family members are making $59,900, contributing to the household income. Korean Americans, $59,200. Indonesian Americans, $57,500. The average American in general, the median income is $56,200. So for all the women that are saying, I can only want to be with a man that makes six figures, my darling, you're going to be challenged, because most men make about $45,000, maybe $50,000 a year. So when you're talking about the average American household is only bringing on $56,200. Yes, CJ, this is where I'm getting. Thai American, $55,100 median income. Bangladesh American, $50,000. Nepali Americans bringing home $43,500. Hispanic Latino Americans, $43,000. African Americans at the bottom. Let me talk to the people classified as Black or African American. The median income that's common in a house is $35,000 a year. Median income. The government gives them funds immediately upon arriving to the United States. True. Absolutely. They get funds. They get help. Some of them, if they just provide international people, and I know this from the top producing mortgage underwriter, the top producing mortgage processor or something like that in Louisville, Kentucky, where I just came from. He told us, he's a brother, that our international community, they can just bring a transcript to a mortgage processor, a transcript of having attended college, can have any type of credit score doesn't even matter. They will get certain programs and funds to buy a house. Okay. Now, meanwhile, the rest of us need to have a good credit score. I'm not saying that's good or bad here. No, I'm just telling you what is. A good credit score, make sound decisions with our credit, which we should do anyway, and bring in a certain income. Some people are given funds. Exactly. I agree. Having said that, African American, so-called indigenous Black people, so-called Black people who are the indigenous people here in America, it says we at the bottom because we're strong enough to hold everything up. Possibly, but what's happening? No generational wealth. Okay, very little generational wealth. The government is guilty. Absolutely. Every woman wants the same 1% man, and no one wants the everyday 9-to-5er. There's plenty of good men. They're just not rich. That's true. There are plenty of good men that are not rich, but trust me, when this system crumbles, who is my mom, Christine Harris, when the system crumbles and these people haven't provided, they haven't prepared, don't know how to grow food, they don't know how to build anything, they're scared because the people who lost all their money in the stock market is now going around trying to maybe take what belongs to them. Oh, these women are gonna learn today how to take a man, if they're so interested, that can provide and protect them regardless of whether they're making $100,000 per year. We're gonna learn today. But there are very good men. There are men that have good morals, values, principles, and a vision for themselves. But can we women accept them for not being a top 1%? Because here's the thing. I'm learning this living in Jacksonville. They sure will sleep with them whether they're married or not. And why do that when you can just have your own man and not be concerned about him being six figures? So what I see happening, the cook, yeah, use the bookkeepers while we only have proof of income. Yep. In the so-called Black community, what I see happening, and I say so-called Black because Black is a legal standing in law. That means you have no status. It is not an ethnicity. Neither is it a nationality. We're American. That's our nationality, or you go by your tribe. What I see happening in some of the communities, in particular, the community classified as Black, is that 77% of our households are headed by women. Now, you can argue that it's good or bad. You can tell me it's because the man was sent out of the house via government programs, because women were able to receive entitlement money such as welfare, food stamps, Section 8. You could say it's because most women initiate divorce, which is true. Most women initiate divorce for whatever reason, even if it's a legitimate reason. No matter the reason, though, the Black community is at the bottom. Now, if you want to take your power back, whether you're the Black, so-called Black community, African American, or anybody on that list that I just showed you, you need to create a vision statement for your family and cast that vision and live by the vision. You need a mission statement. You need values. You need to support that. And then once you get that for your family, you can work outwardly. Once you have order in the home, then you can start working in government if you so choose, or you can create your own community, your own paradigm of what your community should look like. But it's pretty sad. It's pretty sad to know that African Americans are only bringing in $35,000 in a median income. So 77% of the households are, here we are at the bottom, 35,000. 77% of the households are led by women. And so a lot of times what happens when you have one person in the home is that those children live in poverty, abject poverty. We've got to get better. We've got to stop fighting men and then women and arguing about, this is a man's role, that's a woman's role. Under this current system in which we live, like it or not, the man is the provider and protector. Usually, if you're a woman, you want to be a provider and protector and your man can tolerate that, okay. But you still gonna have to come to some type of agreement. And if you are separated or divorced, you still are going to have to come up with some type of agreement, some type of vision statement, some type of mission statement for the sanctity, the mental health and well-being, and a generational wealth building of your family. But here's the deal. Single parent households usually don't, the woman or the man that's in a single parent household does not have the energy to build generational wealth if you're out trying to make all the money. Hear me, family. We spend so much time arguing about stuff, but we don't want to get married because, marriage is a part of the government. It's the white man. I don't need a license. I don't need to do that. I don't want a man tell me what to do. I don't need a provider or protector. I'm not going to be subject. I'm not going to be yielding. I'd rather go out and work and make another man rich. I'd rather have somebody else raise my children and teach them instead of me doing it. It's your thing. Do what you want to do is what Aleister Crowley basically said. But you need to find out what works and do it. Okay? If you want to see your family do well, then you need a vision statement. If you have low to no values or morals, the money will not build. It will destroy. Look around. Thank you. So, family, let the man be the man. Thank you so much, Glass Castle, because here's the thing. A lot of women who decide that some women have to do the man's role because they're on their own, but a lot of women who decide to take on that role, what they don't understand or overstand is that this can lead to your demise. It can make you sick. It's the reason why a lot of women in the so-called Black community are obese. I'm going to say it. It's the reason why a lot of women are dying early. It's the reason why a lot of women are tired and exhausted, why we have all these illnesses, because doing the work of the man and the woman is not conducive to our well-being. It's not healthy. So we have to get back to some type of value system. I'm going to leave that up to the community leaders and your community to come up with how to do that. But you got to get the family structure in order, because healthy, strong families create healthy, strong communities. Healthy, strong communities create a healthy, strong society. Yes, it will bring back rightful, yes, repayment. We're in a society where we have to ask, what's a woman? That's evidence the household rules are broken. Absolutely. Was a single white parent of 2 kids, one of each sex, no child support, public welfare, divorce, but we had a savings. Wow, that's amazing. First of all, I know it was very challenging being divorced and being a single parent of 2 children, because you had to do both roles and you had to actually work outside the house since you had no child support. That had to be challenging. So I send you my love and my strength and my prayers to all the women who have had to do that. I send you my love and I empathize with you. How you were able to create a savings is a blessing. You can teach us some things. I keep hearing people saying, I can't afford to do this. I can't afford to do that. How can I do this? Okay. Breaking news from Newsmax: Zelensky to visit Washington, D.C. tomorrow. Awesome. Thank you. There are married men and women who are overweight. Yes, there are. There are. And it may be because of the foods. It may be because they're stressed out. I'm just talking about what's going on in our community, because I'm talking about us being at the bottom, or people classified as Black or African Americans, indigenous people. A lot of it is because the woman has a lot on her. I'm just speaking the truth, my truth. But you're right. A lot of married people are that way. And a lot of men have said, the men that like to work out have said that their wives do not necessarily like to work out. So that's between the two of you about how to change that, because you ate potato soup last week each month. Interesting. So getting back to how you can have a savings, how you can add silver or gold to your portfolio, how you can invest in exotic currencies, because people keep saying people are living check to check. Dr. Pruitt, you're making it seem like it's easy. Listen, Kelly is a single parent with 2 children, and she's had to work outside the home with no child support. She was able to create a savings by eating potato soup. Sometimes, oftentimes, most times, you have to make a sacrifice. Okay. If you can make a sacrifice to get your hair did every month, every 6 weeks, and getting your hair done costs usually $100, $200, $45 at the lowest if you go to a hair school. You can make a sacrifice to eat soup for a week and save money. You can make a sacrifice not to smoke cigarettes. You can make a sacrifice to not drink alcohol. You can make a sacrifice to not go out and party. You can make a sacrifice to not upgrade. Thank you, Brother Keith. Hit them up, hit the like button and subscribe, and share the video. You can make sacrifices. If you can, do it. Z is being arrested. Yes, we'll see. Look at what you need versus what you want, what you desire. Want is a lot. Look at your needs. Look at your wants, or the things that are non-essentials. When you look at your needs and your non-essentials, you can determine what can be sacrificed. Okay, food is a necessity. You might make a sacrifice by eating soup. If you don't want potato soup, make vegetable soup. Okay, whatever it takes. Save a few pennies. Get you an ounce of silver for $28 to $30. Get a half an ounce, a quarter of an ounce, an eighth of an ounce, a silver shot. What else? What else kind of silver do they have? Sterling silver, gold. Gold's not in your budget, get gold Aurum notes. They're only $6.95. Or get like 5 or 6 notes for less than $20. A lot of you may not be able to afford, but a lot of you can if you make sacrifices. And instead of saying, I can't, ask yourself, how can I? People told me that women had to go to work, and I made a decision not to work while everybody else was doing around me, had two parent household. I'm saying I'm not going to work. I'm not going to work. I should say certain jobs. What I'm going to do is choose a job. And instead of saying I can't, I said, how can I? So I found jobs that would allow me to be a community counselor, because I had a master's degree in counseling. And as a community counselor, I went into the homes of people and counseled them, or I took their adolescents and their young people to go with me shopping and taught them how to shop, and I could bring my children with me. Or I took them to church with me and taught them Christian principles and values. Or we all went swimming together. Or I always found a way to include my children so that I wouldn't be away from home. Okay, I didn't work for a corporate place until my children were like much older. And even when I worked at Marshall University, they were young. I only worked there part-time, and I brought my children with me. Now, everybody can't do that, but I believe it was my mindset, my positivity, and my looking for options that enabled me to align with those things. So try to sacrifice what you can. Get with your family members and put your pennies together. Don't feel you need to work out to stay in shape for a man. I'll call that the Lizzo effect. Listen, men tell you what they value. They value fitness. I'm just telling you, if you're in the market for marriage, most men like a woman who's not obese. I'm just telling you what I know from hearing men speak. Most women like women fit, feminine, and friendly. That's what they say. If you don't like that, then hey, find a man who's in alignment with where you are. But I'm talking about a lot of men, I'll say it like that. So being fit doesn't necessarily mean you have to be a size 0. But if you want to know what men are looking for, then you find out from them what they need, and then you just do it. It's easy to me. It's not rocket science, because if you are applying for a job, you're going to look and see what they need. You're going to see what they desire to fit a certain job description, and then you are going to make sure that this is about vision too. You're going to see what these jobs need, and you're going to make sure that you have the skills to fit that. That's a whole nother thing. Do it for yourself. Yes, do it for yourself. Stay healthy. Stop buying what you want and begging for what you need. Woo-wee. Thank you. You can't reach Andy? Did you send an email at info@milesfranklin.com? No, yeah. Send it Andy@milesfranklin.com or info@milesfranklin.com. So if you desire to add silver or gold to your portfolio, contact Andy Schekman. I'm an affiliate. Info by email, I love you too @milesfranklin.com or Andy@milesfranklin.com. Oh, I'm possible. Oh, okay. Let them know that Dr. Kia, excuse me, I'm getting choked up. Let them know that Dr. Kia Pruitt referred you. Ask him, and you will get the best prices in the industry. And ask him for an inventory list and his prices, and have him to take your order. Now, I do know they're very busy right now, because listen, on one day alone, our family here bought over $1,000. Over $100,000 in precious metals. One day alone, people are buying up silver and gold, even from this platform. So I thank you so much. And I applaud you for having wealth for your family, because silver and gold are wealth. So create. You can have a savings. You can do things that other people may say is impossible. I'm possible is what one of our family members said. This brother CJ, he may be looking for a wife. He doesn't like muffin tops. So if you have one, hey, you think he's attractive, this is what he look like. He look fine to me. Get that muffin top gone. They have these whole things you can put on your stomach to blast away the fat. You can fast. You can diet. Stop eating sugar. Stop eating certain foods. These foods that have no nutritional value, and get rid of that muffin top. Work out, run, exercise. It's not that hard for some people, and some people get surgery. I went to work with my kids, went to school. I was home 30 minutes after they got out of school. Perfect, because that was important to you. Some men want that, but are they fit? Usually the men who want that, yes, they are. You can have a pudge, but no mop and top. Actually, love, that's a good question. The top percent of men that most of these women are saying that they desire, absolutely, they're fit. They work out every day. Yes, ma'am. I know them. I am in alignment with them. They are in my circle, especially when you're in a conservative community. They work out every day. Even the brothers. Yes, ma'am, they do. That's something a lot of women want to say, because a lot of women ask because they want to know. And then some women just don't want to do it. And you don't want, if they don't want to do it, they don't have to. I look at what's in the heart first. But if you're a woman, that's why. Because women value different principles from men. Let's talk about it. Men and women are different. I'll say it again. Men and women are different. It doesn't matter if we don't like it. You can scream, you can shout, you can pass out, you can have a hissy fit, you can do whatever you want. You can tell them they're stupid, they're dumb, it makes no sense. But men and women are different. I look at what's in the heart too. And I also look at what's in his ability to provide and protect. I'm with you, sis. Or if you're a woman, I'm with you. But men value fit, friendly, feminine. You cannot change the biology of men. You can scream, holler, shout, scratch your head, nod, whatever, try to berate him. You are not going to change him. If you want a certain type of husband, you need those qualities. Now, if I'm lying, then the men need to speak up and tell me I'm lying. Another thing men like is sex, sandwiches, and silence. Concise, period. They like a woman that's going to give them certain things if they're married. I'm talking about marriage now. I'm hearing there's a whole new movement when women don't give their men sex if they're mad at them. And while I was raised that the body doesn't belong to, when you're married, your body doesn't belong only to you, but your husband should be able to, enjoy himself with your body, not when you're sick, of course, or, you have certain things come up, and you should be able to enjoy his body. There's a whole movement going on telling women, if you're in a marriage and you don't feel like being active with your husband and he asks you for it, it can be considered grape without the G. Yeah, a whole movement. So what they're going to do, this another agenda, is get women to say, yeah, I don't want to do it. If I don't feel like it, I don't have to. I'm just trying to peep game, family. Peep game. And then they're going to create legislation, if you allow it, so that if a man asks his woman within marriage for SCX and she don't feel like it, she can say, he tried to grape me. I'm telling you, it's a whole movement. And then if he goes outside the marriage because you didn't feel like it or you wanted to get him, I'm telling you, it's a whole movement. If he goes outside the marriage, he's a homewrecker, he's a cheater, and the other woman is a homewrecker. I get it. And then you put yourself in a position to have to be divorced because you allow somebody else to come and tell you what you should be doing in your bedroom. Thank you. I just want to hear if I'm right or not. You're welcome from the men, because men and women are different. Ooh, that's all. Yes, go 4 times a week. That's awesome. Men and women are different. Men are visual. We can be visual too, but we're more concerned with provision and protection. That's how we're wired. So I'm just telling you, emotional, physical, mental support. That's it. That's what women usually want. Emotional, physical, mental support. Absolutely. Let me know how that movement goes. It's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. It's going to be a lot of people. That's for others. Going outside the marriage if we don't get this in order. No. The way a woman should look, I haven't heard that. He don't have any mirrors at all. Oh, there are some people that want women to look a certain way and they look a hot mess. That's something. Hello, welcome, Sister Renee Bay. Consensual. I know I'm rambling at this point, but I was talking to one of my sons the other day, and I say, the feminist agenda has really hurt a lot of our families. So, you know, the agenda to get the man out of the house hurts. The agenda to get men not to, do their role has hurt families. But most men know that they have to go out and work. If they don't feel like it, the wife doesn't care. Get your tail out and work. Okay. No, men don't get to say, I don't feel like going out to work. If you say you don't need a man, or you want to be the man, and you hear a bump in the night, maybe you want to be the one to go out and get that person away from your door, or keep them from stealing from you. If you're the woman, that's what you want. That's your prerogative. A lot of women would rather have a man to do that. So, within the system in which we live, we have marriage and we have certain roles where the man provides and protect, and the woman supports him, and she educates the children. Women like men who can provide and protect, men like women who have the characteristics that I described. Nothing that we say is going to change that. Most men haven't changed. They still know they have to provide and protect. Women have changed significantly. The way they did this is through programming, taking us out of the home. They had whole commercials when I was growing up in the 70s where they had a shampoo commercial. No, not shampoo, excuse me. It was a perfume commercial. And the lyrics of the song would say, I can bring home the bacon, fry it up in a pan, and never, ever, ever let you forget you're a man, because I'm a woman, Ajali. It was a perfume commercial that was a program that says, I can bring home the bacon. I can go out and work like a man. Come home fried up in a pan, and never, ever let you forget you're a man. I can work, come home and cook, and still provide all your sexual needs, because I'm a woman. I can do it all, for a perfume commercial. What they didn't tell you, that when you go out and work all day and come home clean and cook and try to take care of his sexual needs, first of all, you're too tired. A lot of women are, to do all that. And another thing that comes along with that for a lot of women, if you're exhausted, you're burnt out, you don't want to do it anymore. It's cute when you're in your 20s. It's cute when you're in your 30s. When you're 40s, it stopped being cute when you're in your 40s, in your 50s. It's not cute anymore for a lot of women. Then they had this whole cigarette commercial. I forgot the name of the cigarette. Where it was called, she would smoke the cigarette. She would say, Virginia Slims, I think. We've come a long way, baby. Meaning I don't have to be in the house anymore. I can smoke cigarettes. It used to be a time smoking cigarettes, taking an alcoholic drink, shooting shooting the breeze with men, with the guys. That was all a man thing. But men did that as an escape from having to work all day, being exhausted, building up another man's corporation, running a business, still coming home, providing structure for everybody. But a lot of them die earlier. Most men die earlier than women. So most men are still willing to provide and protect, even the ones that's making 50,000, 40,000, 30,000 a year. They're still willing to do their jobs. But these commercials and programs will tell the woman, you can do it too. You could go out and work too. You could build up another man's corporation and be the workhorse for another man's corporation to make them rich too. You could smoke too. You come a long way, baby. But they forgot to tell you that you're going to get cancer just like the man. They forgot to tell you now you're going to die just as early as the man. And now you leave nobody at home for the children. You see how they do those things? Take your power back. Take your power back. I love you, family. I'm not going to keep going on. I'm exhausted. I still have a show to do. We want the same as the man. Yes. Thank you, sisters. Hit them up, guys. Hit the like button. If this resonates with you, if you learn something about a vision statement or a mission statement and how you need to create them, write them, rally your family around the vision, how to cast the vision. If that provided any value to you, then please hit the like button. That helps the algorithms. Circulate the video if it's valuable for you. Lately, women have been waiting for the consistent rather than letting the natural be the natural. I am speaking for the normal man and woman. All right, what's the consistent rather than letting the natural be the natural? I hope I provided some value. You're standing behind them. All right, girl. Sister Kathy, I like a real man. I like a man to provide and protect. Huh, T? Some women don't have a choice, absolutely. And we have to find a way to help those women. They're going to have to probably consider bringing in the extended family again, because, like I said in the beginning of this podcast, a lot of families have moved away from their extended family. People are going to have to learn how to live together and how to work together like we did in the past. A lot of us have we don't know communication. I've done whole videos on communication styles: passive aggressive, passive aggressive, aggressive, assertive, and passive. Being a passive communicator is somebody that you let any things happen to you. You don't really speak up, or you just kind of you're the victim all the time. You just complain. Oh, I can't. Oh, it's my fault. Oh, it's my problem. Oh, it's because somebody else did this to me. Oh, it's so hard. And you have a right to be passive, and some of us are victims. Passive aggressive is the type of person who communicates by, instead of being assertive and letting somebody know how they feel, their actions are aggressive, but they're passive aggressive because they'll do something like burn their spouse's shirt when they're angry at them, not cook dinner when it's time to cook dinner, not give him sex because you're mad at something he did earlier in the day. That's being passive aggressive, and you're putting yourself in a position as a man or a woman for your spouse to look outside, because people as a counselor, you're hearing people go weeks, months, years without sex or coming together intimately with their spouses. I don't understand it. Then you expect them not to go outside. That's crazy to me. Anyway, that's passive aggressive. Aggressive is when you're punching somebody, you're hitting somebody, you're cursing somebody, you're yelling at somebody. That's a communication style that is ineffective, because what it does is it harms the other person psychologically, emotionally, or physically. And again, you put yourself in a position to create chaos and havoc in the family and possibly divide the home. An assertive communicator is the type of person that can look a person in the eye and speak up about how they feel. And instead of saying something like, you did that to me, or you make me feel this way, or I can't stand when you do this, or when you say you always do this, you put the other person on the defense. And so saying you always do this is not true. You put them on the defense because a person rarely always does something. But even if they do, when you say it like that, then they don't see it as being assertive. But when you learn to use I feel statements, that is a very good way to use your assertiveness skills. So you can say, I feel unhappy when you don't come straight home after work because, hey, I cooked dinner or whatever, because I'm tired, because I want to see my man, because I love you. Or if you're a man, you might say, I feel that you don't respect me when you're out late at night with the girls past a certain time, because it makes me worry. So when you say I feel, you take responsibility for your emotions, and yet you're still stating assertively what's going on in the situation that makes you unhappy. And then that makes the other person more likely to listen. Another thing in which that you could employ when you're being assertive rather than being aggressive, passive aggressive, or passive, is you learn to communicate with an open posture. Because if you're closed posture and you're rolling your eyes and shaking your head and doing this and cussing and being mean, rude, or disrespectful, then a person doesn't want to hear you. It's very hard to hear the message that you're trying to communicate. But when your posture is open, you learn this in psychology. You're saying, I'm open. My posture is open. I'm not defensive. I feel a certain way, but my posture is open. And you lean forward, not in an aggressive way, not to try to make, the person feel like you're about to hit them, whether you're a man or a woman, because now you put me on the defense and I'm going to have to defend myself. You pop off at me, I'm going to pop off at you, because it's a natural defense. people. You hit or you jump at somebody, they're going to feel threatened and do something. So you lean forward in a non-threatening way. Your posture is open. You're looking them in the eye. You speak assertively without being aggressive, mean, rude, nasty, disrespectful, or cursing. You look at them and you state emphatically how you feel or what happened to make you feel uncomfortable. These are communication skills that you can take with you in a marriage, when dealing with children, on the workplace, in government. Sometimes you got to be aggressive in government, though. Everywhere. And I brought this up because a lot of us don't get along with extended family members because we have not learned how to communicate. In this society, we have learned cancel culture. I don't like what you did. I don't like what you said. I don't like who you are. I cancel you. I get rid of you. Again, stop allowing these paradigms, principles, rules, and mannerisms and behavior guide and dictate how you operate in your family. Because when that happens, now you're divided. You don't have any help with daycare. Who's going to watch your kids if the daycare center is closed? Your children. Who's going to instruct them if the schools close again? Okay. Who's going to instruct them if the schools are teaching them all these bad, nefarious programs? Mama could be, grandma could be, auntie could be. This woman who needs a job could be helping you with those things. Your children can move back in the house, or uncles or granddaddy or grandma, and you can learn how to put your money together and have rules, order, and structure in your household if you stop being so lazy. Most of you, a lot of you are freaking lazy. You're lazy. You're lazy, or you're oppositional. Somebody try to give you instruction. I can't because of this. And it's too hard. I don't want to. I don't like catering to a man's ego. I don't want to deal with that type of woman because she wears weave. I don't like my mother-in-law. I don't like my mama. I don't like my grandmother. I don't like, wow, we sound like a bunch of children. A lot of people. Do you not know that women from other cultures understand and overstand that you have to get along with a man's mother if you're going to marry him? In the Black culture, I don't know how y'all do in other cultures, it's known that the mother-in-law and the daughter-in-law clash oftentimes. Not all the time, because people have not learned how to respect their elders, because people don't have a culture to learn to get along with the in-laws and the extended family members, because some in-laws and extended family members haven't learned how to respect the woman that the man brings into the family. Now, a lot of children will marry people that's in opposition to your family morals and values because you haven't stated emphatically what your family morals and values are. And it's hard for you to state them because you haven't written them down. You don't have family meetings, and you haven't rallied the family around your vision, morals, and values. And you haven't made sure that they bought into it. This is what I'm saying. Be accountable for your part, for my part in the destruction of the family unit. Be accountable. State with your mouth, I fed into the liberal agenda. I hold myself accountable. I'm going to turn around and repent and stop doing that. And now I'm going to go into action. I'm going to apologize to myself. I'm going to apologize to my ancestors, to whom I give an account, or my creator. I might even apologize to my spouse and my children. And then I'm going to get everybody in order because I'm mama, because I'm daddy, and that's my role, because I'm the elder. Now, people in many cultures know that they're supposed to do this, and that's why they're on freaking top. Let's throw out the programs that they're given. Okay, yes, they're given programs, but some people in other paradigms and other ethnic backgrounds get entitlement programs too. Some of y'all got military benefits, but instead of having a mentality of providing generational wealth, you use the money to go party and go womanize. You use the money to go to do frivolous things. Let's be honest. Some of us women have entitlement programs. Oh, we work. Black women are the most educated women in America, and yet we have no generational wealth because we like to get our hair did, because we like to party, because we like to floss, because I'm a boss chick, because I'm this, I'm that. But how much generational wealth? I'm not talking about how many that you have bought a house. That's good. That's what you're supposed to do. You don't get placated. Nobody gets patty cake for doing what you're supposed to. Husband, wife, man, or woman. Do you have generational wealth? Does your family have values? Do you have a vision and mission statement? I'm gonna get off my soapbox, family. So you remember that? I love you all, family. You remember that perfume commercial? Yes, I prefer staying single after 25 years of marriage. Oh, their agenda hurts everyone so much. Few women have true value. Oh, I don't need you or your mind, body. Wow, DJ. Yeah, that's kind of, men value peace. You know, few women have true value. You know, a lot of women bought into the paradigm that you can have a high body count, you can have as much sex as men. But what you don't understand or understand or overstand is that men value women who haven't let a lot of men be sexually active with her. Now, you can say that's right or wrong. I'm just telling you what men say. So when you do that, or when you don't, you have values that are not in alignment with teaching the children at home, or bringing value to the man, or working with him. If as a woman, we bought so much into the feminist agenda that it's hard to have a harmonious, peaceful home, then the children suffer. Okay, so we don't want the children to suffer. I pray that the Creator sends you peace and send you what you need. We need balance, Virginia's. So that's it. We died earlier because the woman at home may not be bringing peace at the home. I hear a lot of men say that. There's so many women that are, thank you, that cuss and yell at their husbands, don't give them sex. I never in all my life heard this. Now they may feel like they have legitimate reason, but I've never seen this as I had. Thank you, sister. In all my days, their aim has always been the children. If your aim is the children, you will do the right thing, because their aim, the powers that were, their agenda was to get your children, indoctrinate them, and do what they want to do. To not marry, to not produce, to be used for their purposes so they can eat them and feed off their loosh, and to do certain intimate things with them that are ungodly and unlawful. So family, I know I was on a rant today. Thank you so much, Noella. I have a strong passion for the family. I have a strong passion for making sure that our communities are in good health and have well-being, because when the families are in alignment with strong values, morals, and principles, and they have a good, healthy vision, I certainly value peace. And I'm a one. Me too, girl. I don't want no foolishness in my house. When we have peace and when we have good, healthy homes, then we can actually trade with other communities in peace. We can have harmony and balance. We can work together and support each other. You have to get your family or yourself in order first, then your family, and then your community, and then you'll be able to work in peace and harmony with other communities. Some men bring a lot of drama. Yeah. Some men bring a lot of drama because they got a lot of baby mamas. So women, close your legs so you can stop being baby mamas, because you determine who has access to your body unless they take it by unlawfully or nefariously. Then they need to be dealt with, and the community need to deal with them harshly and quickly. But women, you determine who has access to your body for the most part. If you don't want, so we got to stop all this so that men won't bring all this drama of having all these baby mamas. And men, learn how to control your phalluses. Some men have drama because they don't want to work to provide and protect. So you need to make sure, men and women, men don't even want high mileage cars, much like high value wives. That's just how it is. That's the truth. Thank you, Lisa. You're welcome so much. We need peace in the home, family. I don't know what I was going to say. You're welcome. We've got to have this discussion. What was I saying? Praying together helps a life. A family that prays together stays together. So you their overall goal was to get the children so they can indoctrinate the children and have access to them, feed off their loosh, uh, sexually assault them, create transhumanism where you do certain things. Also, bringing humans together with technology. If you do your job as an individual and as a family, then you'll work together as a community to make sure that these paradigms do not work. So I do not consent to the liberal agenda, whether they're Republicans or liberals, to divide and conquer the family or the human race or us as a species. I do not consent to any of it. Therefore, I turn my TV off or I don't own one. I didn't own one many years as my children were growing up. Don't own one or turn it off, or only turn on programs that are in alignment with your vision, mission, and values. Okay. I do not consent to their agenda. So I'm learning to grow my own food. I do not consent to their agenda. So I'm cooking healthy meals to ensure that I can create healthy children. I'm not alignment to their causing perpetual poverty. So I'm working with my family to make sure we create generational wealth. I'm working to make sure that each of my family members understand and understand the value of precious metals, which is wealth. I'm not making excuses because that's just not who I am. I grew up in this skin all my life. My mother never allowed me to use it as an excuse. I made straight A's, almost all the way up through to high school and graduation. My mother never allowed me to make excuses. Therefore, I never made any. The higher the expectation, the higher the achievement. I was reading before I started school in kindergarten. I was doing math, multiplication, division, subtraction, and addition before I went to school. I was reading encyclopedias. We had two as a child in elementary school. I read them and wrote reports for my mama. We read dictionaries. My mom was 10 in 10th grade. She dropped out, I think, in either 9th or 10th grade because she was pregnant with me at 15. She had the presence of mind to make sure her children had a different life and a better life. So I'm not one that allows excuses. I've been in the skin all along. I never allowed anybody to tell me I couldn't get scholarships. I worked my tail off and I made sure I had scholarships, and I made sure my husband got scholarships because I married at 18 again. So we went to college together. We went to high school together and we went to college together. Never did I accept or allow excuses from myself or my children. I don't care if you're black, brown, purple, green, white, blue, or what. In this bloodline, in this family, you will achieve. You will make good grades. You will be a great person. You will have morals and values that are in alignment with this family. You will align yourself with, you can make mistakes along the way, but I'm going to bring you back in. Okay. You're going to respect the father and the mother, me and your dad. You're going to listen to and respect your elders. And all my elders did the same thing. So this is what I know. So family members, let's get back to family values. What do you say? Honor the family. So my name is Dr. Kia Pruitt. You can't honor family without honoring that marriage. You can't have generational wealth with alimony and child support. Most people build generational wealth through marriage. And that's why on that what I showed you all, the chart at the bottom says marriage matters and education matters. So what type of education is up to you. I did get that chart from Connie Lauren Walker, or Connie Lauren Comer is her name. I'm not sure where she got the chart from, but she is a marriage advisor. What do you call it? A dating coach, a marriage coach. She has helped within, I think 3 or 4 years, almost 100 women get married to provider, protector men, because she has taught women how to heal. She has taught women how to have feminine values. She has taught women how to align themselves with strict principles and morals that help you to become a highly self-actualized woman. And when you do that, you vibrate a certain frequency, and it's true, that will draw men to you. I'm a woman of a certain age. I am still able to draw. I met a man a couple of days ago that said, I will marry you tomorrow. I don't know this guy, but he follows me on social media. He knows about my family, about my morals, principles, and values. He can see by the way that I walk and live what my vision and mission are. He said, I will marry you tomorrow. This is something that I come across often because peace, love, joy, high vibrations emanate from me. You can tell what my value system is by the way that I talk, by the way that I conduct myself, by the way that I live, by the way that I manage my family, by the fact that I'm family oriented and I help take care of the grandchildren. I make sure that my children are able to work because I make sure I avail myself to be able to take care of the grandchildren. If I get a call from the church, I'm not even a member, and they say, I need this to help the community, I'm there. I'm Johnny on the spot. I'm here sharing the knowledge and wisdom that the ancestors have given me. My education has given me, even within their system. I made a conscious decision and I was intentional that even within their system, I was going to learn good values and I was going to take the good from what they taught me and make myself a highly self-actualized individual. And I am a highly self-actualized individual, meaning that I walk in my purpose and I continue to ascend to higher states of consciousness every single day. It's what I came on earth to do so that I can be a light and an example of what an ascended master looks like or a highly self-actualized individual looks like. We are all Christ. We are all source walking in flesh. So when they said there's a second coming of Jesus, they're right. Jesus Christ is coming back. You're Jesus Christ. I'm Jesus Christ. Christos, Christ consciousness, raising your vibration, raising your consciousness to be in alignment with source, having high values, doing what's in the best interest of community and family, having love for all, because the first principle of the universe, a universal principle, is the law of divine oneness. We all came from source. We all have source living within us. And if you decide to die or transition, you will return to source because energy cannot be destroyed. It only changes form. So use your energy, use your vibrations, use this knowledge that I've given you and all the different educational tools that you can to get yourself together and in order, to bring your family back in alignment, to close the door to this liberal, heinous, evil agenda and ascend in consciousness so that we can all meet together as one loving, high vibrational family. So my name is Dr. Kia Pruitt. I hope I've said something to raise your vibrations and inspire you and encourage you to live the most amazing, most magnificent, glorious, wonderful life that you desire and deserve. Hit the like button, subscribe, and share the video. Peace. I'm out.